5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cue the Gandalf.
A Monday club is never late, Toto Wagons, nor is it early. It arrives precisely when it means to.
Gandalf, thank you, Gandalf.
Are you in the plumbing again?
Yes.
So, a big hello to you. It's great to see you, and I do hope that you are well. I'm Jennifer Kirk, welcoming you up here to Weir Yard for another Monday Club. Yes, that's right. It's great to see you guys. I hope you are well. Now, coming up later on today in today's show, we've got Peachy TT120, the guru of all things TT120. We've got him on for an interview. He'll be coming to us via video chat, because it is Easter after all. So he's got family and stuff round. Yeah, he's got family.
It's about family.
Yeah, who'd have thought there was family involved? Topsy Toaster has made a welcome reappearance.
He's been on his holidays, haven't you, Topsy?
Yeah, Bronx is now taken over on holiday from him. But yeah, no, it's great to see you guys. So when the chat comes up on screen, we've got Richard Swiderski, Leslie Gilpin Railways, Thelma Chairman 1, Darren Watson, Patrick Ling, Harry Sodrick, Anthony, Caroline Rogers, Chip Rockwell, Dave Scott Railways, Richard Knowles, Summer Breeze Mother Railway, John and Holly, RG Models 86, Peter Jackson, Gila Heath, Marcus Muggins, Peachy TT120, boom! Says, I'm just eating as fast as I can. Yeah, Gandalf's very good at that. Harrick, great to see you. Awesome Bricks, Mike Lane, TT120. Mark Wilson has taken some time off from waxing the DeLorean. Andy Fryers Junction, Beth G, Oswestry Road, TMD, Sue at Putnam Junction, Paul SK. It's great to see you guys. I hope you are well. Now, I've been a bit out of the loop for the last week. Other things have been on. So, not really quite sure about a lot of the new announcements.
You mean that if I say, Jenny, what's in the news, you won't know?
I'm sure.
Oh my goodness.
But we have 2 more pairs of tickets to give away for Key Model World Live.
Wow.
That's next weekend. So these will be sent to you via email, I believe. And the pair of tickets are for the same day. You can't have one for one day, one for the other. So we had 3 lucky winners last week. We have passed your details on to Mike Wild. What we would say is if you won last week, then give somebody else a chance. And also only enter our ridiculously easy questions to win these if you actually are in a position to be able to go. It's going to be held at the NEC. I believe it's in Hall 2.
Isn't it in Birmingham?
Birmingham. Actually, no. The NEC is closer to Solihull.
Is it actually called Birmingham that it's supposedly in? So you've got to be able to get there. That basically, I'm telling people where to go.
It's the NEC. If you go to Birmingham, you're still quite away from it. So, there we go. Ben says, thought it was a Sunday, not Monday. Zoe, what day is it? Have we boo-booed?
It's a Monday. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
There was a moment there, it was like, is it?
Don't do this to me.
I believe there's a tumble of clowns that has something to say about this.
You're all a bunch of naughty people. Naughty.
You guys. Oh, there's the tumble of clowns. And is there a straggler? There's always a straggler. NEC is Saturday and Sunday. DJ K666, behave yourself. Biscuit Barrel says, is it Thursday?
No, it isn't. But Jenny.
I'd also hold on. I'd just like to also take this opportunity to thank Ryan Radband, who very, very kindly sent £10 on the paypal.me link, which you'll find knocking around on, I think it's on the profile page for the YouTube channel. And they say that this is for, where's it gone? For the Biscuit Fund.
This is a message for the restaurant.
So thank you so much for your amazing generosity donating £10.
And also I'd like to say a big thank you to Scanman, who sent a wonderful set with this card. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And I've left it downstairs. 3B Rail.
also sent a belated birthday present to me. I was going to open that live on air, so whilst it's on the dining table downstairs. So anyway, run VT. If I can find the right button. Beep.
Welcome to the Monday Club, your online model rail club for all the news, gossip, layout tours and more with your host, broadcaster and model maker, Jennifer Kirk.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey. So there we are. Welcome back. A huge thank you to TMC, the Model Centre, who help keep the lights on here at Weiryard Towers. Yes, Anthony, I was getting to that. Who's looking forward to Simon Kohler's book? Simon Kohler is going to be doing a book signing of his newest book. And this is all about TT120. So
that'll be interesting.
Key Model World Live show is really going to be full of some really interesting stuff. We've got some major announcements in TT120 that'll be being made. I think it's Saturday.
Major announcements going to be there? My goodness.
Yes, major announcements does get around, along with General Mayhem, Private Parts, and Corporal Punishment.
Hey!
RG Models 86 says, what's tonight's beverage of choice? I'd love one, but unfortunately the service here is a bit naff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was busy setting up for the questions. Are you going to give question one, and then I'll go and make you a cup of tea?
Okay, so question one. I've got my little cheat sheet here. There's two questions. Don't just fire it straight off. This is
there'll be two questions.
Two questions.
Hold off.
Wait until you got both. We're not collating people's answers. If you send two emails with one answer in each, then I'm afraid you're not in the draw.
Because we're doing all of this live. There's only two of us, and I have to run everything.
So, question one: which model railway magazine is involved with organising Key Model World Live? Don't put the answer in the chat, but keep that handy. This is for winning one of two pairs of tickets that we're giving away tonight, thanks to Key Model World, who have very, very kindly provided these. You'll be getting your tickets via email. Please only enter if you can make use of these. And the pair of tickets will be for the same day, but you get to choose whether you want Saturday or Sunday. So there we are. Dave Scott Railway says Key Model World Live floor plan is now online. Ooh. And we've got some really great exhibits. I must admit, last year we did go to Key Model World Live. It was the first year that it ran. And it was really, really quite good.
I have to admit, I spent more time looking at the war stuff than I did at the train stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was new.
It was very, very different from a lot of shows that we kind of used to, but I think it worked in a really great way. And one of the things that was very clear was The military modelers really put railway modelers to shame.
There's a real Spitfire at the shop. I
Malco
need to
believes
be there.
real Spit. Oh,
I'm there.
yes. Well, we're going to be there on the. I think it's the Saturday that we're trying to get there. So you will be able to see us if you're on the Saturday.
Skill Extra could be there this year too.
Yes, and also look
I
out
will
for...
be coming home with a flying DeLorean.
Yeah. Dan Everson of Tunnel Lane Model Railways is there with a I think it's a slot car set, but he's built a fully scenic rally car stage for Scale Electric, and it looks amazing. He did share some photos of this on it.
I need to see
I
it.
shared the pictures with you.
No, I need to see it in person.
I know.
I need to
see
smell
it.
it and lick it.
You need to take your Batmobile and have him send that round.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah. Mark Wilson, the wax of the DeLorean says, DeLorean?
Oh, yes.
Yes, there's a new Scale Electric's DeLorean, the flying one from the second film.
It looks amazing.
Yes, really looking forward to that.
Technically, it's also in the third film, but not for long.
Yeah, only in this kind of the recap at the start. But yeah, really looking forward to that. Oh, it's a replica Spitfire. Did they get James May to make an Airfix kit 1-to-1 scale? Yeah, he did that.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Tea, coffee, Horlicks, hot chocolate, or juice?
Horlicks. How old are you?
Very.
Yeah,
Grandma needs her drinkies.
Yes. I'll just have a pint of juice, thank you very much.
I'm having a Horlicks.
Actually, I will have a hot chocolate then.
Have a hot chocolate,
I'll have a hot chocolate. Yeah, Peter Jackson Chile says Mike Wilde has to stick the wings on it. So, also, can I just say, the draw, for those watching on Catch Up, too late will be the cry. As the ladies with the free tickets have passed you by.
Because let's face it, we can't keep them back. It's for this weekend.
Yeah, we're closing it at 8. So at 8 tonight, so halfway through the show, we're closing the competition. The reason for this is we've got Peachy TT120 on via video phone. Yes, Sarah Davis, but those watching on Catch Up will still be charged. Ben says, will it be able to get to 88 so we can see some serious stuff happen? Yeah, it flies off the track. Sarah Davis says, strictly speaking, the DeLorean from the third film would be a rally car with their massive white wall tyres. Interestingly enough, that wasn't a real DeLorean. The prop car from the third film was based around a VW Beach Buggy chassis, and it had DeLorean bodywork put on top of this thing, and it still exists, and somebody got it running recently, and it drives like an absolute dog. Big hello to you, New Junction. It's great to see you. Hope you're well. I'm wondering, I take it you'll be there, manning the Acura scale stand, holding down the fort. Don't float away. Yeah, we'll be there on the Saturday. I've got to do the rounds now. I'm going to be speaking with quite a few different retailers, going around getting the hot goss and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure that there's other stuff getting announced. There usually is. But the major announcement is that a new manufacturer who's not yet done TT120 UK outline is announcing at Key Model World Live that they're doing TT120. Now, they've already teased ahead on this. There's been a few teasers. So, very, very quickly, second question. Which manufacturer is it that is announcing their first foray into UK outline TT120? So there you are. You've got the two questions. Question one, which model railway magazine is involved in putting on Key Model World Live? And question two, which manufacturer is announcing at Key Model World Live that they are doing their first entry into TT120? Write them down and email both of those questions together, the right answers, to zoe.robinson@gmail.com. That's zoe.robinson@gmail.com. And please put competition as the subject title. Just makes it a bit easier. New Junction, we said no right answers in the chat. Naughty, naughty. Hey, You can't take him anywhere, can you? Well, at least not without taking him back the day after to apologise. So anyway, we've got loads of stuff going on around me. We've got the usual trio: the Bachmann 25, the Hellion 27, and the Hornby Class 09 on the ABC shuttle. But somebody asked actually a couple of weeks ago, and I felt embarrassed last week. I completely forgot about it. To put some GWR on. So I haven't run my GWR King for a very long time. It's 6009. I can't remember which one that is. But that is currently doing the rounds at the head of the Maroon and Blood and Custard Mark 1 coaches. I tried to go for a couple of locomotives which don't often get used. So I've got the Hornby 6-wheel Sentinel in Manchester Ship Canal livery as number 3001. This is one of the ones that worked at Ellesmere Port. James Spinks Railway says, I'm back after my hiatus with scouting. Did you have a good time? Although it's been a long time. Dib, dib, dib. JL Railway says, thanks, Jen. Yes, it was you. It was you. Afternoon from Minnesota, says Worthington Model Railway. It's great to see you. I hope I find you well. Sarah Davis says, what should the subject line be? Just put competition in the title or whatever, just so that she can find it. Peter Jackson Julie says, Richard didn't get the memo, too busy being late. When Gandalf gets back, he follows the covered monkey around like a little puppy. Then I'm sure he'll have something to say. Bringing up the stuff running, we've got an Acura scale 55 actually, in what I think is probably my favourite livery, which is the two-tone green, but it's got a tops number, 55002. That was done as a special for Rails of Sheffield, and I snagged the second to last one, so I'm very chuffed at that. I do like that livery. I've also got a rail blue one somewhere. But the two-tone green really is good. Michael Sarsfield says, how's the Jeep from last week? It's coming along well, actually. I've done some painting. Still got a little bit more to go. I don't know whether that will show up particularly well. I've not put the back wheels on, but I've done the front wheels. So it's really come together and done a bit of painting on it. I was going to add this to Minith Tattoos as part of the rebuild, but I decided not to. I decided that actually it just kind of felt a little bit out of place. So I have been working really hard on rebuilding Minith Tattoos. And I think the show debut for that is the Bluebell Model Railway exhibition coming up at the end of June. And yeah, it's the first time I've ever been to the Bluebell Railway. Is that one mine?
Yeah.
That looks very watery for hot chocolate. So beverage of choice has suddenly become hot chocolate.
It's also very hot. It's just come out of the kettle.
Very watery as well.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm glad you brought Gandalf back, because there's a few people tried to sneak in whilst he was away, seeing if he had any bickies.
Oh, really? Well. A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
Thanks, Gandalf.
Absolutely. There's a few more people. Martin Shipman says, evening one and all, sorry for my tardy arrival. Light failure at Blackheath. Hey, did somebody forget to put £1 in the meter? So just a reminder for the latecomers that we've got 2 more pairs of tickets to give away to get to Key Model World Live this coming weekend. You get to pick whether you want them on the Saturday or the Sunday, but both tickets must be for the same day. Please only enter if you can use them. And this closes at 8 p.m. So we do have Peachy TT120 coming on the show via video link. So these need to be sent, both answers, in the same email to zoe.robinson@gmail.com. Put competition as the subject line so we can find it easy enough. Question 1. Which model railway magazine is involved with organising Key Model World Live? And question 2 is which manufacturer is announcing their first ever entry into TT120 UK Outline over the weekend. So those are the two questions. Pop them both, the answers to both, in an email to zoe.robinson@gmail.com with a competition in the subject line, and you could be getting 3 pair of tickets. You do still have to make your way to the venue, and because people do, believe it or not, still keep entering for, in one case, months afterwards, the phone lines shut at 8 p.m. So it's really only for those watching live. For those of you watching on catch up, hello from the past.
It's just one of those things we can't change it.
So how much are tickets for those that didn't win, says Sarah Davis? I can't tell you off the top of my head.
We don't know.
For everyone planning to go to the NEC, says DJK666, it's Birmingham International Station that you need. Yeah, don't go to Birmingham New Street because you'd be quite some distance away. Although I do believe that you can get a direct train from there. What's wrong?
I'm going to need some power.
Okay, so I'm going to juice up your phone. There you go. Olay! Sorry, ceremonial Olay. We're only allowed to do it once, but it's fun nonetheless. Peter Jackson Cheadle here says £18 advanced or £25 on the day. I do believe that the deadline for getting advance tickets is midnight tonight.
So if you don't win and you want to...
Yeah, if you don't win, then you can then buy a ticket. But you could save yourself 36 quid if you do win. We've got 2 pairs of tickets. And a huge thank you to Mike Wilde of Hornby Magazine for organising those. So Patrick Ling says, Gronk it up!
Gronk it up! Gronk it up!
Gronk it up! Hashtag not a
coat.
Oh, I've got...
Oh, Jen.
Oh, no, we got an emergency. Man
Jen.
down.
Jen.
Oh, I haven't got any tissues either.
Jen.
Oh, no.
What have you done?
Oh, the
You've
question...
made everything smell of chocolate and bums and farts.
Oh, no, I'll have to wipe that on the carpet.
You carpet queen.
Yeah, I'm a carpet wiper. Like a little doggy. Corner to
Ah!
corner. Corner to corner for the longest possible wipe. Yeah.
You know, people watch this show. It's not just you shouting into the ether.
What?
You should have a reputation.
You're saying that there's an audience out there?
I know, people actually watch this. It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, oh my word. Why would anybody want to do that? So, I was just showing people the Jeep. It's come along really nicely.
Lift up Topsy, please.
Oh, right. There you go, Topsy. It's like when you're...
Wow, this is the first time this table's been cleaned since I bought you it.
Yeah, I take it that those tissues have come out a little bit dry. Oh, I'm going to say...
They look like you've been weathering them, let's put it that way.
It could be weathering powder, or you could just be taking the cheap varnish off it.
Yes.
Iron in 1970.
I'm going to say it's weathering powder.
Yeah. Iron 1971 says, thank you both. I got your badge last week. Kind regards, Get Jamie. Oh, brilliant.
Thank you to everyone who's been ordering them.
Absolutely. We will have a stash with us, including very, very few of the previous green ones at the show. But
to those who ordered over the last week, due to the fact that I've been trying to play catch up after coming back from family stuff, they've been a bit of a delay. I will be sending these ones out tomorrow first class, so you will have them by Saturday or Friday in time to get to Key Model World if you're going.
Absolutely, but we will have a small stash with us, so you'll be able to hit us up for those. Also, TMC are doing a thing whereby if you order off their website, then you can arrange... to have the order you just pick it up at the NEC.
Pick it up.
Which means that you can save on postage, and you can then spend the money that you save on postage on something else. And they've got quite a big sale on. There's an extra 5% off in their Easter sale. You need to check their Facebook page for details for the code. But there's an extra 5% off over and above what the listings are. And also their second-hand stuff as well is going live tonight. So plenty to choose from, and you can choose to pick it up from their stand at Key Model World Live. Also, you can get from them the Monday Club wagons. There's still some left. Do get them ordered if they're a must-have item. I did find out how many are left. There's more than I want, but less than you'd think. So, oh, this is the hat. This is
Yeah, so people can see I'm putting the names into the hat as we go.
Oh, have we had many come in?
Yes.
A lot of people want them free tickets.
Of course.
So, AD Pullen says night all. Oh, I presume that you've got an early start tomorrow. But look,
thanks for
thank
coming
you
along,
for coming.
dude. Have a great night.
Absolutely. Always great to have your company. DJK666 says, I'm still deciding which Monday Club badge to bring. Bring them all.
They only count once.
They only count once, but don't forget that there's plenty of retailers there that you can use your discount with.
Mark Wilkes, I'm sorry to say that first answer is not right, but you still have time to try again.
Yeah. Oh my word, thank you so much. Gordon Aitken
Thank you.
has very, very kindly donated £9.99 on the super chat. It says, apologies for the tardiness. Being trying to find the membership button with no luck. Money for the new train fund. Oh, thank you so much. I'm not actually sure where the membership button is. I think it's
like join or something like that. It doesn't...
Yeah, they have some kind of weird name for it. I don't know.
But I think Gandalf has a message for you.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. SHGP Media says it's the join button.
Yeah. They've got weird names for everything.
Will you or Zoe be wearing that hat on Saturday, says Richard Swiderski.
I am considering it.
The Cupboard Monkey does hats. I don't do hats.
I am considering it, because it will be very bright and people will see where we are.
Yeah, that is one way of doing it. On the other hand, people can just see it's the Cupboard Monkey. Oh, look, it's the Cupboard Monkey. And you'll also have the tumble of clowns in your pocket. There we are. Oh, there's the straggler. DJK666 says, I'm hoping Clark Railworks have a good stand this year. Yeah, there's a lot of different retailers who are part of the badge discount scheme. This is in-person shopping, includes at their retail premises, but also at shows. And as we always say, support the retailers that support our hobby.
Sorry, Sarah. Both those answers are incorrect.
Hey, what?
Although it does make me wonder.
Revolution Trains already announced that they're doing TT120. That's an old announcement.
Right, so it's the one that's coming up this...
Yeah.
Right.
Richard Sarsfield says, I bet Jenny be buying some more A4s. It's getting quite tough, actually. There's not many left that I need, and they're not ones that are readily available.
Oh, that was the thing with Hornby, wasn't it?
No.
No,
tomorrow.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else. When you were down there and you were talking to them.
Yeah, I did tell them, but, sometimes it falls on deaf ears.
Jen, I'm not going to say stuff that may or may not be something that might happen. Come on.
Piccadilly Model Railway says, hi, Jenny, Zoe, and everyone. Do I get a message from Gandalf? I'm sure you do.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. I'm going to bop you on the head with my my little rainbow-coloured container.
Yeah, but for those of you who are thinking what we're on about, when we were
Gandalf is being quiet.
When we were down at Hornby, Jen was talking to them about all of these lovely A4s that she'd like them to do that they've never bloody done.
Yeah, the thing is, you can understand Sir Nigel Gresley and Mallard being done over and over again. That makes sense. Dominion of Canada, Dwight D. Eisenhower. But Sir Ralph Wedgwood, modern U-tooling with the DCC socket, I'm sorry, not appeared in a BR livery. Also, Silver Fox.
Everyone needs a Silver Fox.
Yeah, so these are the ones I need. I need Silver Fox. I need Sir Ralph Wedgwood. I need Gannet. I need Seagull. And I need... Oh, there is another one. I need Bitten.
Dominion of South Africa or New Zealand or something?
Union of South Africa,
That was it.
bizarrely enough. That was the other one. So they're the 6 I need. What happens if Gandalf is late, says DJK666? Gandalf? What?
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Gordon Aiken says, I've tried the app and YouTube website. No join on membership button showing. We'll try
Weird.
again next week. I'm not even sure where. It's usually underneath the video. So if you minimise the video, my recollection is there's
It's usually
something
somewhere like
underneath there.
Andrew Bettis, I'm sorry to say, the answer to the magazine is incorrect.
Yeah, you'd think that Hornby magazine went to all that trouble.
Jenny, stop giving out answers.
Peachy TT120 says, Jenny, I've been excused from the table. Oh, so we can have Peachy on a bit earlier. So we shall we try and get We'll get Peachy on a bit earlier then.
Do you want to try it now?
Yeah, we can do.
Okay.
So I'll need. Will I need the cans?
You'll need the headphones of destiny while I continue to write all these things.
Yeah, I know all the broadcasting terms. Anybody would think I used to work on radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
You didn't. You did. She did. She's actually, what were you, BBC somewhere or other?
no.
You've turned up at the BBC sometimes with your friend.
I did a lot. Oh, what's going on?
What have you done?
I don't know.
Are you breaking all my headphones?
They're not your headphones.
They were until you nicked them.
Oh, could you turn the volume down a bit? That's. Oh, hold on. Now I haven't got anything.
That's because I turned it down.
I said down, not off.
How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. So
My
it
goodness.
just means I won't start shouting.
No, you've already started shouting.
Yeah. Ben Davis says, just got some of the Rapido, RCH and Caledonian Railway vans, but would love if we got a Great Eastern Railway Grey Y14. Well, we're getting the fancy purpley blue one, and that was announced. In fact, it's proven so popular that Hornby have expanded the production run, and I think it's still sold out. So, which is exactly what Hornby need. They need something that just all sell out at the original release price. Retailers need it too, so I think that's a good thing. Right. So, sorry, Zoe's chuckling at something that's appeared in my Facebook feed.
I can't get the messenger thing to work.
Have you?
It's like facepalm's not working.
Have you clicked on that?
Yes. Yes, I pressed the button and it didn't freaking work because it's a bit weird.
It's chugging.
Also, it smells
Yes,
of bums and farts.
Yes, chuggy. So, we're just bringing up Peachy now. So, how are we doing? I haven't got any of the chat on screen, to be honest with you.
It's alright, get it on your phone in a second.
Oh, okay.
Right, we're starting the call.
Oh, I can hear that.
Yeah, everyone else could too. And I believe we have a Peach.
Yeah, so hello, Chris, Peachy TT120. You're live on air. Please don't swear.
Please don't swear too much. Give me a moment. I'm still working on this.
So we're just doing a little bit of jiggering and pokering.
Jiggly pockly.
It's the jiggly dancing.
Yes.
Right. So apparently I'm woo. So I'm just being moved around the screen now. So anyway, Chris, how are you doing there as you finish off the last of your dessert?
Wow, that's a lot of books behind you. Nice. I approve.
That is actually a very impressive bookshelves back there. I do approve. They always say that you can tell how cultured a person is if the square footage of their bookshelves is bigger than the size of their TV screen. So you're doing well there.
That's my wife's the cultured one.
Oh, I'd set you up there to be a very cultured individual, and you go and give all the credit to your missus. So
People have watched my channel. Do you really think I'm cultured?
No. Anyway, moving on. So, you're going to be at the Key Model World Live show this weekend, and you've dropped a few hints about you're bringing something with you, aren't you?
Yeah, but we can't talk about it because it's the answer to one of your questions. Or can we? It sort of answers the question, doesn't it?
Well.
Okay. No,
Okay, but are you there as a private citizen, or are you with TMC?
No, I'm there as general rumour.
General rumour, as opposed to corporal punishment and major calamity.
I'm going to be a rumour monger.
No,
I've been invited by the manufacturer that you're asking the question to have my layout on their stand.
All right, so you're going to be on their stand.
Correct.
That's going to be good fun, actually. I had the privilege of being just behind your layout when we were at Doncaster, and I was blown away about that layout. And what it actually showed was just how much you can get in a relatively small area with TT120, and not actually look crowded. You had a lot going on there, but it didn't feel like it was stuffed in for the sake of stuffing it in.
Thank you very much. Are you sure you weren't blown away by Craig and his bottom?
Oh my word! Yeah, a little bit. It's a very compact layout. It's 1,200 millimeters by 900 millimeters, so it's 4 foot by 3 foot, give or take. Yeah, so it'll fit in the back of an estate car quite readily.
No, it will fit in the back of a small hatchback. I shall be bringing it because the wife's using the nice car, and I don't fancy taking the Land Rover, my old vintage Land Rover, and leaving it in the car.
I've ridden in that. That was good fun, actually.
Yeah. And how much of a wreck it looks, people will still nick bits of it, so that's not going down there.
They just helped themselves to what? What, your wing mirrors and that?
Oh, it's got these original mud guards on the side, the blisters on the side, and people were always trying to screwdriver it off. It's ridiculous.
Why were what? Are they valuable then? I take it.
Yeah, the originals from Land Rover are ridiculous price.
I mean, that's like God.
You can get ones exactly the same for I don't know a fifth of the price. But anyway, we're not here talking about Land Rover. No, it will go in the back of my son's got a little Citroen C3, a small hatchback basically. It will fit in the back of that, and that's what I'll be bringing it.
So, actually, we had a question. Andy Stewart says, does that mean that there's a running sample then? Maybe they just like, if they're going to be announcing TT120, it does stand to reason having a TT120 layout, just show off the scale.
Well, we've already mentioned the layouts going there when Ben was with me and we did our little bumper last Friday.
Yes, I did. I did see that you released that, and I think it caught everybody a little bit by surprise because they originally announced that they were going to dip their toe in the world of TT120 and then kind of rode back from that because a lot of the models that they announced that they were thinking of doing were also announced by Hornby. I presume from this that TT120 has been such a great success that it really can't be ignored by manufacturers, and whereas right back at the beginning it was almost seen as a leap of faith, the scale has very much proven itself now. So
yeah, I think so. To a greater extent, or maybe not. I'm not sure. Look, at the end of the day, the manufacturers and their bean counters have been looking at how the scale has been performing for 2 years. I suppose really the only real question, I guess, for them, because obviously I'm not party to any of that kind of conversation, is whether or not which model to bring out, and I don't really know how big the customer base is at the moment. Because it's a very different dynamic to the regular, let's call it.
Yeah,
the double O market, because we know there are hundreds of thousands, whereas probably maybe millions, I don't know, but the with TT120 it is in the thousands, and we don't know how many of those people are doing that thing where when a scale like this comes out, it's very easy to go, I want a piece of everything, and to almost have that collector gene come on.
Yeah.
Really sort of starts to sort of wane when we realise that, you know, that war chest, like for me, for example, I had a war chest that from an eBay war chest where I sold all my double O and a bit of O and a little bit of N from loads of different periods of time. I've gone through that lot now. So it now means I now have to start kind of like focusing a bit on what I'm going to be buying, and this is where I guess, you know, in scales that have a bigger range, it's easier to do that kind of focusing. But 120 is certainly, you know, you can the era 4-5 BR is something you can focus on, even though it's predominantly used in region. Some people don't care if it's got the BR crest on, the late crest BR in green, good enough for them. You know, and also the blue stuff is starting to sort of build up a little kind of cohesion. There's not so much when it comes to the support for that needed rolling stock, but then there are other companies who are looking at rolling stock. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of next year we haven't had announcements from, or at least either have people. So I'm going to do a little counter.
Because in a way,
so I think by the end of next year there'll be 7 manufacturers who will have produced some kind of rolling stock, whether that's locomotive power or, you know, carriage stroke wagons, and obviously we've got 3 at the moment, which is Hornby, Pico, and Revolution. The next in line now, we can't say the name because you've got a competition until 8 o'clock. But there are a couple of others.
I think that given how successful it's been, I know right at the start we had the usual suspects going, oh, it'll be a failure, what a waste of money, bloody, bloody, blah. But actually the sales have shown that it's been very, very popular. And I think that a lot of manufacturers would look at that. At the end of the day, they're in the business of making money. And if people are buying into this scale, then why wouldn't they want to have a piece of that? And I have heard from some retailers that sales of TT120 are up there on a par with N-gauge sales, which is quite an achievement for, certainly for the UK, a relatively new scale. But we mustn't forget that it's actually quite a popular scale elsewhere on continental Europe. And because it's the same scale, it means for the first time modelers can model in TT120 and have continental and UK stock on the
we had a new company join in recently. I think they're called Sud Express. They're Portuguese, and they've done traditionally 8O and European N on the 160, and they just brought out I think it's called the Euro 9000. It looks like the class 99 or 93. I'm not quite sure which one, but it's a very modern locomotive. What about different? You know, from France, Germany, and I think a bit further east. And they brought out a whole bunch of wagons to go with that as well. So TT120 is having a bit of a lift, not just in the UK, but actually across Europe as well.
Yeah, and it also means that there's a lot of scenic items that you can quite readily get and repurpose. And one of those, you had a really excellent roundhouse and turntable on your TT120 layout, which worked really well in a UK setting. So that, you know, there's plenty out there for the modeler.
That one was a bit pricey. I think I bought it second hand and I got it about half price. But you know, it's a pricey piece of kit, and I would hope that at some point someone comes with something that suits a normal budget, if I'm honest. But no, it's been fantastic. The lots of the retailers are getting involved, from the very smallest. A lot of the mid-range shops are, commissioning stuff from Pico. For 7-plate wagons, I really hope that Pico turn up soon with something new.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of options to go on that 9-foot chassis, whether that's a flatbed or whether it's an LMS event wagon, or there's loads of things that can go on that little chassis. So I'm really hoping that that's going to be coming soon.
But we also had Malk's models as well commissioned.
Yeah,
a whole load of buildings.
Well, Malk started it off with Brett and Malk really were the people to put their heads on the block first, and they did that quite expensive commission. I think it was with is it Diecast? I can never remember his name. Is it Chris Diecast or I can never remember. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'll get a message in a minute from Brett. And so they went halvesies on commissioning those scene craft buildings, which have been great. They've not come to market as quickly as I think they'd hoped they would happen, but then there's a lot of things going wrong with that kind of that kind of chain of they did a brilliant job, but then now lots of the shops are doing commissions, and I think even obviously the TMC we're looking at commission. We commissioned the wagon from Revolution. We're looking at other commissions. We're talking to other men about commission. It's all very kind of embryonic, and we can't just we haven't got the readies to just chuck it everywhere.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, people forget it's a very expensive process to do the tooling for
my eyes up.
Yeah, I mean, I was once somebody asked me when I worked at DCC Concepts, when they tooled up their legacy track work, they said, "Oh, why aren't you doing points?" And it's like, well, the tooling just for, say, a left-hand point costs about the same as brand new 7 Series BMW, and you'd have to have 2 of them because you need a right-hand point as well. You can't just release a left-hand point. And before you know it, you can spend a huge amount of money on tooling.
I was looking over there because I've got you on mute on the PC screen, and I've just noticed that Ham Shackleton said that if he didn't have so much 00, that he would start a TT120. Well, do you know what? There's a lot of us who are into TT120 who started with 00. And there's a lot of us who just said, you know what? I fancy a fresh start. I want more from my layout space. And, I did. I'm not saying that everyone should do it, but I sold all my 00 off. And admittedly, it wasn't, there was nothing under 10 years old in my collection.
Yeah.
And there was only a few of them that had been hardwired, a few DCD chips for a bit of fun with my lad. Most of it was old school split chassis, all that kind of malarkey. And I just sold the whole lot off. And I just because it looked to me like, and I had a whole range of railroad, Lima, different regions, different areas, different, and I couldn't conceive how I was going to create what I wanted from it. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm just going to wipe the slate clean and start again.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've heard a lot of is that there's a lot of people who've come back into the hobby who've actually found TT120 to be the ideal scale for that. Because you get a good amount of stuff in a small space. But also, I think the biggest selling point, certainly for me, is that the track width is correct. And so it basically comes without any of the baggage that we had with 00 and even N-Gauge. And you don't quite realise how much of a difference that makes until you see it and you think it just looks right.
Yeah, until you start making something, then it really becomes apparent. Especially after you've ballasted like the Pico stuff, which I think looks phenomenal. Something also that's I don't know if it's a trend, but there is certainly we've had a number of gentlemen who have for years and years and years have bought N-Gauge, and they come into the shop and they've had a chat and they recognise me and they said, "I love Peachy," and talk to me about the steam locos that are in TT120, because a lot of us now focus on the diesels in the modern era because of that 40-year rule thing. But there's still a lot of older guys out there still model making, and some of them their eyesight's maybe a little bit trickier, but there are some people who it doesn't matter what age they are, they're really tech focused, and they look at some of the Steam locos in N-Gage, and beyond a 6-pin sound decoder, there's not a lot else. I mean, there are Steam locos out there with more on the decoder, but most of them are either a hardline stick or a decoder, and they kind of have a bit. But when you look at the modern N-Gage, you got things like the Plux 22 inside, stuff that Revolution are doing, with all the knobs and knockers going. And I guess, and there's a few guys who said to me, I mean, this is not my experience because I've never been down that decent group at N-Gage. My N-Gage was all decent. And there's a couple of guys saying, we feel like we've been left behind, and we now we have our N-Gage cabinet and our TT cabinet side by side at the TMC, and they compare the two of them. They look at the detail that's now on an off-the-shelf item in TT120 with an 18-pin sound decoder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want some of that. And there's a few of them selling their N-Gage Steam collections and switching over to TT Steam. So TT might become a modern scale. I don't think it is. I think people will still want that Steam stuff. And so this little Terrier that's come out, and also the little Normandy, this is pre-grouping stuff.
Yes.
And people are getting excited about it.
And that's one of the things. It always used to be the case that manufacturers said, "Oh, there's no demand for pre-grouping," and then suddenly there was. And actually, people are quite prepared to model eras that they never experienced. But just want to give a quick reminder to people: our competition to win 2 pairs of tickets, free tickets for Key Model World Live. We're coming to an end, but there's still time for people to enter. We've got 2 questions. Send your replies, your answers to zoe.robinson@gmail.com and put competition in the subject line. And the questions are, which model railway magazine is involved in organising Key Model World Live? And question 2 is, which manufacturer is announcing their first model over I think it's on the Saturday, their first model entry into TT120 UK Outline. It's been trailed ahead all over social media. So there's just enough time for people to slip in for that competition. But Peachy, I want to ask you, you're pretty much now considered the guru of TT120. You're Mr. TT120. How did that come about?
I'm just a happy twat.
But I mean, when you came back into the hobby and decided to go for TT120, were you a mover and shaker in the hobby, or did that just kind of happen through your enthusiasm for the scale?
No, I wasn't. I had no connections or involvement in model railways at all before I started. But my previous life experience, my pre-Peachy, I've always been Peachy prop. The Peachy comes from Peachy props and models, and I've been Peachy props and models since I was 21. Okay, and back then, when you're working in the film industry, you are working from job to job, and in between jobs, I would do sales. So I had sales training, so that's why I'm kind of quite comfortable talking in front of people and I don't know, just communicating. Whether that's something that I developed or it was just my personality, I don't know. But certainly, when you're trying to get jobs, when you're trying to make things happen in the film industry, you've got to communicate with people. You've got to chase people around. You've got to do a lot of You've got to use a lot of shoe leather to get those jobs. It doesn't come up on a plate because invariably there's a few thousand of you chasing for 100 seats.
I know full well it's as the saying goes, if you let the grass grow under your feet, you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah. So I've had 40 years of unashamedly bashing on doors and making phone calls.
You're never 61.
Hey, I'm 50. I'll be 57 in September.
Oh, but you don't look it. Yeah, you look like you're sort of late 30s, early 40s.
Shut up.
You've weathered well.
Late 50s.
You have weathered well. But no, but how do you go from coming back into the hobby and going, oh, this TT120 looks interesting. I think I'll give that a go. How does that then escalate to you being the guy that manufacturers talk to about ideas for new models? You know that you know who's working really closely in the industry, working with Maltz models, commissioning your own wagons. How does that happen?
Easy answer. A particular form of neurodiversity. I've become hyper focused, and when I'm hyper focused on something, I push, and there's lots of people out there who are like that, and that's what I'm like. And my wife would probably wish that I didn't hyper focus so much on model railways, but that's what I'm.
And I suppose as well, it's like when people ask me, "Oh, how did you get big on YouTube?" It's like, I don't know. It kind of happened. And I think if you planned for that to happen, it couldn't happen. It's a lot of chance.
There's one particular thing that I would. There were two particular things that happened, right? And I can almost date them. It would have been February 2023. So this is 2 months before I started my YouTube channel in April. The channel's only 2 years old.
Yeah.
My son and I were bored waiting for the first TT120 set to turn up, and I looked on. I signed up to Railway Modeler again because my dad had subscribed to them, and I noticed there was going to be a show at Doncaster, and so my son and I went to Doncaster. We walked in there. There was some loopy-loo with some weird round layout spinning round, and there was a bloke all dressed up like some sort of hairy biker. Using weathering powders. And,
yes, I remember this well, actually.
And we had a good chinwag, and you were both very accommodating. And I think Craig sold my son his first pack of DCC concepts.
Yes, I remember.
And we all had a good chinwag. And my son then said, "You could do that." He said, "They're not superstars. They're just because we'd seen you guys on YouTube because we'd been bored and we were looking on YouTube to see what was going to come up in TT120."
Yeah.
And he said, "They're not superstars. They're just normal people." I said,
just a couple of mugs.
I said, "You call them normal?" And then, so that was the first point of it. And then I went to them. I made it my mission to go to a number of shows, and one of the friendliest people I spoke to was Richard Watson at Akira Scale.
Yes.
And
he is a very friendly chap.
I think maybe he'd only just sort of started at that point. But I was aware of his channel of New Junction. Yeah,
because he'd been very big on YouTube, and then he went to work for Hornby magazine, and then from Hornby magazine he moved to Akira Scale. He's in the chat somewhere.
Yeah. Hi, Richard.
Yeah. Hello.
But I had a chat with him, and at the time I was in a little bit of a gap between projects, and the only thing in the pipeline was was working abroad for 3, 4, 5 months. It was very good money, but I didn't leave London, the film industry, and move up to Yorkshire. For me to go away again, the whole point of being up here was I was having a better work-life balance. And I would go, obviously to pay the bills, I would go and work anywhere that I needed to. But that wasn't what I really wanted to do. So my wife and I were kind of discussing how we should be doing something. I said, in the meantime, I'm going to muck about with this YouTube stuff. And then it started getting a little bit popular. But this is okay. I wonder if this could lead to anything. I wasn't imagining that I was going to make any real money from YouTube because it's extraordinarily hard. Yeah. You guys work super hard and have so many more followers, so many more viewers.
If you work out,
you can't live on it.
No, I've got a day job as well.
Exactly. So it's at that point that I bumped into Richard again, and I asked him. I said, "How?" He said, "Do you have any recommendations of how I get into this industry?" Because I knew he'd been at the Hobby magazine and now he's working at the Akira Scale. I think surely I can work in sales in some way about a product that I know and I'm passionate about. And he said, yeah, your YouTube stuff's fine. He said, look, the number one, he said to me, and I can't remember exactly verbatim, but it was along the lines of, don't be a dick, don't be rude to people, don't have online fights with people, Let people have their own opinion, agree to disagree, and just try and be as positive as possible. And so that's all I've ever tried to do. Every now and then, the facade slips. So I think.
And you're like,
but in general, I try to follow the way that he goes about things, which is try not to patronise people, try not to talk down to people, try to be as understanding as possible. When you don't know something, admit to it. I get PMs all the time from people saying, Chris, what's the best way of doing this, that and the other? And I have to say, look, I'll tell you how to make a tree. Or put some grass down, or make a cliff face. I've no idea how DCC concepts points, how alpha point system really works. I just do what I'm told when I ask Richard.
Can I just interject? Our competition has now closed for winning 2 free best tickets, and also can I welcome Tim Allen as our newest Jenny Kirk membership member. So thank you so much for your support. So we're going to just take a brief moment to pick out 2 winners, and
just give me 1 second. You can't just jump straight into that.
Apparently I'm being wrong.
Yes. You did the end of the contest. That's fantastic, but I've got to make sure that there aren't any straggling emails.
So we're just checking for stragglers.
There are no stragglers.
No stragglers, right. So are we ready for this?
We are. Drum roll, please.
That sounds more like Gandalf running in.
Well,
So
yes.
I've picked the first one out. So we've got Gary Lewis. So congratulations, Gary Lewis. You've just won yourself a free pair of tickets. So we'll pass your details on to Mike Wilde. Oh, wait, I didn't even give the answers. So Hornby magazine, we dropped enough hints.
Oh my goodness.
And
read the questions. What are you like?
So, which model railway magazine is involved in organising Key Model World Live? Hornby magazine. And Peachy, you can answer this one. Which manufacturer is announcing their entry into TT120 at Key Model World Live?
It is a Cura scale.
Yes. Yes, it is. So, congratulations to everybody who picked a Cura scale. No. Do you know that New Junction Richard Watson just suddenly put his head up above his baseboard like a meerkat? It's like, what?
while his stomach just emptied.
You're like, you what now?
We're doing what?
Yeah. What's Fran been telling people without telling me?
No, it is, of course, Hellion. Could you pull the second...
Oh, right, I've got to put it... So, Hellion, and you'll be on Hellion's stand, Peachy, throughout the...
I'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with Ben, and I'll be there supporting him there'll be... I'm hoping what the idea is that I think I'm going to be like a night in American football where you have to protect the linebacker or whatever.
I don't know, I never watched it.
So I'll be sort of doing, he'll be talking to all the nice people who want to talk about TT120, and then I'll be there trying like his bouncer when everyone starts.
Right, come on. You're not on the list.
About you should be making this in 00.
So I'm getting wronged because I'm holding the ticket here, and everybody's like, "But who is
it?"
Right. So the winner of the final pair of tickets, very kindly supplied by Hornby magazine for Key Model World Live next weekend. We send you details to Mike Wilde, and you get to pick which day the pair are for. But that has been won by Mark Johnson. So congratulations, Mark Johnson. Thank you so much to everybody who entered into that competition. So, but my bottom just fell off.
That sounds about right for you. Congratulations, guys.
So,
the thing I'm really looking forward to about this show is, apart from the fact that I went to the first one last year and thought it was amazing that we had this vast range of model making, and it was such an experience to go and see what the armoured fighting vehicle and the flying aircraft, model guys were doing. So awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing this Scaretrix set because it's the first not the first, but it's the first I think really show that I'm going to go to where we're going to see a Scaretrix set in a really well built scenic environment.
Is this the Dan Everson one, or is there another one as well?
I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to seeing a 1-to-1 size Spitfire. That would be awesome.
Yes, we said that actually when we came on air and we learnt about the Spitfire. We're like, we're there.
I'm
gonna
pretty
go and
sure.
lick
I'm not
it.
quite sure. I think this is advertised. If I haven't, sorry, Mike. But I know that Simon Kohler is doing
people have been saying about that. He's doing his book signing.
Yeah, but he's doing a VIP kind of like an event thing. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's like a slideshow thing.
So how does one get entry to this VIP event?
You have to buy the VIP tickets or be one of his special friends.
Are you one of his special friends?
Oh, I don't care. Open the tent flap and come in.
Yeah, but like you're on the other side of the velvet rope now. And how does it feel to be invited onto the Hellion stand to be a part of this big announcement?
Oh, absolutely superb! I was gobsmacked. I'd been, almost kind of to a point of being a pest. I've been talking to manufacturers every show I've gone to. I think, and I know a lot of people have been doing that. A lot of other TT120 YouTubers have been doing that as well. But what people may or may not realise, and I'm not trying to sort of blow my own trumpet, is you have to do it in a certain way. You can't just be very demanding or be, just tell them what they should be doing because it automatically rubs them up the wrong way.
Yeah.
You don't there with a list of what what you want, and that's what they should do.
It's like I really want locomotion number 1. I'd buy one. That's the usual thing, isn't it? It's like
bloody 9F.
it's like come back with 1,999 of your friends and their cash, and we'll talk.
But it's just trying to be polite and not interrupt. It's amazing how many people will interrupt conversation. We see two people on the stand having a conversation, and they will just push in. I was at York Show today, and they weren't being rude. They're just not being really thoughtful.
Yeah.
I had one person who was one of my subscribers came in and he said, and he wanted to say hello, and I was having a conversation with Steve Haynes, the marketing boss
From
man
Pico,
of
yes.
Pico, and Steve was absolutely fine about this because this happens all the time. The guy wanted to say, Peachy, and said, thank you for what you're doing with TT120. That's fine. I'm happy to stop doing that. That's okay. It's at that point that you let me carry on with my conversation with Steve.
Yes.
That's that point where you then ask me about Hornby's products on Pico's stand.
Yes.
Because that's when it starts becoming a little bit. Well, it's a little bit. It's just a little bit embarrassing. Really, saying, "Oh, I understand what you're trying to suggest, but if you like to talk to Pico about their product, then here's the man here, standing here waiting to talk to you."
Yeah, and Steve is a lovely chap. I've talked with him quite a lot over the years. He really is a great guy.
Yeah. Something else that was really fun today was I had I think 3 or 4 people stop me and say, "Are you that Peachy bloke?" and you're never quite sure. But, no, my name's Craig. And the
my name's Craig. I've shaved my beard off.
Your beard off. I wear a cap. But they were people who have been listening to the Model Rail Replacement podcast, the one that's done by James and Sam. I think they're Emperor's Path and Western Signalman on YouTube, and they have this podcast, and I think it's jolly good fun. I think you need to get on there. I think at some point.
Yeah, if they invite me, I'll go on.
It was great fun having a chat with them, and people came up to me at the York Show and said, "We really enjoyed your episode. It was really nice. It wasn't just you banging on about TT120. You're talking about your dad's O gauge. You're talking about your O gauge. You're talking about P4 being your favourite scale, and because it's a general hobby safe space to just talk about your stuff." And there's a number of people who have done some really good episodes on there. If you want to check out some other episodes,
yeah.
Tom from Buggles Kelly Station, who we did that YouTube challenge with.
Yeah, he's a great bloke.
He's one. His very dry humour. It had me.
Yeah, we saw his interactions with Laurie.
Absolutely superb.
Yeah, really well done. But yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, if they invite me, I'd love to go on. So we'll put that out there.
If you don't mind, I'll pass your details over to them.
Yeah, no worries. Excellent. And are you building a new layout at the moment in TT120, or are you still developing Camelot?
I am. Okay. So there's always stuff going on, isn't there? So the Camelot is not being touched until after Key Model World Live, and after that it's going to have a bit of a little tiny revamp. There's some details that people have suggested that I really like the idea of, and it's predominantly fencing and gates and about the control of space.
Yeah.
A goods yard, and then at the top of the back end where there's an old grounded cattle wagon and there's the boys playing football, that's going to have a little bit of shuffle, and it's going to have a fueling point in there from MS models. They do a cracking range of a lot of the buildings on it are from MS models.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a little diesel fueling place up there, and not a massive thing, but enough that would fuel, the yard's 08, because now I've got a green, and then I've used a red DP Schenker that I got cheap at one of the shows, and repainted it black to make it an era sort of like 4-ish class 08. Not all the details are right, because it has got some of the details you'd spot them a mile away and go, that wasn't on an era 4. But just to have a little diesel fueling point in the background. Also, Modulu, Chris from Modulu has given me, he sent me early doors, and maybe I should have done something before this, but he's very understanding. I've got things like I think some swans, pigeons, and cats.
They've got a really great range, and I must admit, we've
fun stuff that you can look down and the kiddies can go, oh look, there's a pussycat on top of that boat.
And it's things like that which I love on model railways. And any model that the closer you look and the deeper you look into it, it rewards you with more and more detail. I love that kind of thing.
The next project, which is this big project, which is called Ella Beck, but it's going to be done in sort of a 1/3 and a 2/3. So the first part of it was supposed to be a model of a rowing museum based on the National Rowing Museum. My daughter and I went there, and it was more about a model that's going to have lots of cameos of how people interact in the museum, not just trains sitting in an empty space. We're going to have a lot of that, and she wants to be involved in the model making of that. Which I'm really, really enjoying. I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a project this summer when she comes back from university. But that's all kind of ground to a halt, because Ian Kay, the northern rep from Pico, said, right, Peachy, you're doing this Rail 200 challenge thing. Get your backside in gear, sign in the form, hand over your readies, and get up with it.
Oh, right. So you were volunteered to be a part of it.
At gunpoint, and he's a big fella. He's taller than me.
I am kind of hiding from knocks on the door and wondering whether they'll come to me like, "Why aren't you doing it?"
Why aren't you doing it?
I'm busy. I'm revamping Mineth Tattoos at the moment, which I'm using plenty of Pico products. What?
I hate it when stuff just decides to play music.
Yeah, so, Zoe's having a technical issue with a phone playing music randomly. But I mean, are you? Do you have any regrets, or with going TT120, or has it just been the perfect scale for you?
What's there to regret?
That's fair enough. And HM7000 has been a big thing for you as well, because Camelot you control using the Bluetooth app, the HM7000.
Yeah, I think HM7000. I love the access. I love the way that it works. I find it very easy to read. Everything's all labelled up. It has some limitations still when it comes to if you want to program your track, and I do want to do some programmed automation. That's not quite there yet, but that doesn't mean that you can't. People sometimes get stuck down a road. I think that they think they have to use one system. And HM7000 is a good piggyback onto things. Particularly, you can have a DC system. Maybe that's a power cab. Maybe it's something more advanced and more expensive. Or maybe it's linked in with something like Rail. Is it Railmaster? What's the You know what?
Railcom? I don't know. I don't use it, but I know it's.
One of the systems where you can, with your PC, you can control your
Is that Railcom?
Or the Digitracks do one as well, don't they? And I think there's also programming going to be happening with.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of these things you can use them all together. I mean, at the moment, there's I've got 31 HM7000 fitted locos, and there's probably at the moment about 5 or 6 sat on the track, and they're working perfectly happily through my NCE power cab. But I can also take control through my smartphone.
Right, backwards and forward. So I'm coming to that stage, and I think a number of people, although a lot of newbies find that HM7000 thing great, and there does be about 45 to 50% of the market is new people just using HM7000.
Yeah.
There are other people. There's also there's a reasonable chunk of about 15-20% who are using DC, who have decided which way to go yet or are happy with it. That's fine.
Oh, can I just interject? Ravenheart Modern says JMRI. Is that what we were looking for?
I think so. But anyway, what I was going to, we'll have an argument now, aren't they? Calm down, girls. What I was trying to say, for me, for the stage in my development where I'm at, I want to investigate other systems that I may or may not use as well as HM7000. Because, if other manufacturers are coming into this scale, maybe not all of them want to tie themselves to the HM7000 boat. Maybe they want to have something that's a little bit more or a different, We've had, well, 00 certainly has had a place where everyone brings out something with a socket, says it's DCC ready, and then you have to go and get whichever you want. And the HM7000 system's kind of like turned that on its head a bit, but it's all brand new. It's only a couple of years old, so there's still a lot of people who haven't used that. So I don't think you have to nail your colours to any particular mast. And I think as I move forward, if I develop that bigger layout, I will be driving an individual loco using my iPad because I enjoy that control system. I enjoy that access. I will be programming the rest of it most likely by another DCC system, unless all of a sudden the Hornby's development team turns up with the moon on a stick.
The thing I always say about HM7000 is that it takes a lot of the nerdiness out of DCC for people to actually start to venture into changing CV values, because it puts this easy to use graphical user interface onto your phone. So it's almost like that moment that we went in computing from using DOS to actually Windows just took care of that and went, oh, you want it to do this, just click here and we'll sort it out. And I think for me, that was the biggest revelation about HM7000, that you go into the CV editor, and instead of going, well, if you want it to do this, you add 4 to a number. If you want it to do this, add 8 to that number. And it becomes this sort of maths test. But HM7000 doesn't do that. It just goes, do you want your loco to run in the opposite direction? Tick here. Do you want your locomotive to do this? Tick here. And
I know that the other the manufacturers out there have to consider competition and various ethics and so on and so forth, but kind of hoping that the industry itself gets to a point where they start to have some kind of communication channel where they talk about how this might, or they all might move forward with this. So like how with DCC the NMRA standards happen, so that the DCC systems, whether you buy it from Lens, from DCC Concepts, or from Hornby or whoever, they're all compatible with each other. You can do all the controlling on your one DCC system. And I do feel that the Bluetooth aspect maybe needs a standard that everybody can work with, so that you could have multiple different manufacturers. You will have a lot of people. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 comments on your on the thing there about the Bluetooth thing is nothing new, and yes, there's been other people doing Bluetooth.
Yeah, I mean, soundtracks have got the Blue Nami,
and so
and
we almost need to put the Bluetooth bit to one side and say what the bonus for me with HM7000 is the actual interface on the screen.
yes.
Superior to anybody else's system. Now, the Bluetooth side aside, right? Just put that to one side.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes, I'm a member of Merg, and there's guys there who've been doing that stuff for years.
Yeah.
But I look at their system, I think that is just as bloody complicated as anything else that's out there.
Yeah, it's like trying to, they could have. It's like somebody's installed Unix on a toaster and made it do DCC. But actually, what people want, it's like I said before, going from DOS to Windows. All of a sudden, it's user-friendly. It doesn't put this kind of wall up where, you've got to be able to work out hexadecimal numbers.
That's bruised with Merg.
Yeah, but, Merg's fine. There's a lot of people get their enjoyment from the hobby doing that. I mean, I think, it's the hobby is a rich place because there's something for everybody. But for me, the idea of peering under my baseboards and just seeing lots of blue flashing lights and sort of huge, great big mainframes of computing power to turn a light on and off somewhere, it's not for me. But, I recognise that there are people for whom the electronic side of it is immense enjoyment. And, hobbies are supposed to be fun. So, if you get enjoyment out of that, then brilliant. Yeah. So, so have we gone through all the things we want to talk about? Yes, I'm going to be at Hellion. Yes, we're doing the Rail 200. Yes, we're going to be. We've talked about Some Coder's book. Have we discussed the possibilities of a bun fight between Martin Weaver, Ben Jones, and Simon Kohler? In a mud wrestling ring. Well, I don't think that Martin Weaver and Ben Jones would get in a bun fight. What we've seen before,
they wouldn't.
Well, no, because we've seen Hornby and Rapido kind of get on very well with the J52 announcement. They handled that situation really, really well. And recognising the fact, obviously, the point of no return had been reached and passed by both companies, they actually worked to at least make it so that they're not duplicating identically delivery and identity of locomotives. And, we saw that as well between Rapido and Ellis Clark with the Lomax. And I think that the hobby in general has become much is very mature in that respect. Recognizing that there are other manufacturers, but it's
almost a shame that some elements there is an element of our hobby where the only real interaction is via social media, and they sometimes seem to be the ones that are least mature. And I certainly believe that at Key Model World Live you're going to find everyone behaving themselves impeccably, and it's all going to be jolly good fun. Everyone's going to enjoy themselves, and there's not going to be handbags at all. There's nothing.
But what are we talking between manufacturers, or are we talking the hobby in general?
I'm talking about because of the fact that there's when the TT120 first came out, there was a little bit of discourse on social media by other people about whether or not Hornby had kind of had sort of stolen the sweeties out of the Hellion pram for the 31, or whether or not, and then later on after Simon Kohler had left Hornby, what happened there? Was it exciting? Did Martin Weaver do something? Did someone do something else? And none of it was ever instigated or involved those three gentlemen, but the social media was full of it. You had some of the bigger YouTube channels saying things like Hornby were bullies.
I never said that. Nothing to do with me.
And so it's in the background. There are little bits of people still thinking that something was ever something, and that it's alive. And of course, it never really was anything, and it isn't. And what's going to happen at the show is people are going to really enjoy themselves at Key Model World.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We went last year, and actually, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And we talked a bit about before about the military modelers. The different aspects of modelling that we don't normally see as railway modelers. And I thought that was really inspirational. You're seeing people who can hyper detail a model of an English electric lightning to the point where it's just, it blows out of the water anything that you're used to on model railways, and actually seeing different ways of tackling scenic methods and being open to like, oh, actually, I like what they're doing now. I'm going to try that and apply that to the model railway that I'm building. And I thought that was incredibly inspirational. And like you, I'm looking forward to seeing Dan Everson's Rally Scale Electrics, which is fully scenic. And I think that too could kick off a kind of a divergence where people might take what they've learned from railway modelling and apply it to slot car racing.
It's already happening. If you speak to the Welsh Wizard, but he will tell you that people are buying their aesthetic grass and that kind of stuff from World War Scenics to put on their scale electric layouts.
Yeah.
And we get commissions at the TMC for people to put mud splashes up the sides of their Ford Escorts or whatever, or Subaru. That kind of divergence is happening. It's really
and I think it's great because scale electrics is what 1 to 32 scale, so it's basically O gauge, isn't it?
Sort of, isn't it?
Well, I think so. I'm going to get wronged now in the comments. I can see
you are going to get wronged. Come on. James Pett or Ham Shackleton or Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath to tell us the exact scale of O gauge, please, in the next 2 minutes.
Well, it's 7 millimeters to the foot, but what that is in is a ratio. But look, I'm mindful that we're coming up to the stage of the show where we normally start showing people's videos. So it's been great having a chat. I think we've been on nearly an hour.
1 to 43. There you go.
1 to 43. But I could be completely wrong on what slot cars are. There might be 132. There might be 1 to 43. I don't know.
Anyway, are you telling me to scarf her now?
Yeah, but look, not in a nasty way. But look, it's been really great to talk to you. The guru of all things TT120, and of course you work now for TMC. And did you approach them, or did they approach you for becoming their resident TT120 guru?
I'm not really sure. It was all kind of wrapped in with. I was a customer. They're reasonably local to where I live, so I was already on their books as a customer. The Howard Smith contacted me about the YouTube challenge that we guys got into. So Howard was the first port of call. He contacted me about do I want to be involved in the YouTube challenge, and at that point they had a position coming up, and we just ended up having a conversation about it during the build up to that. Thing. And the exact position they had coming up wasn't specifically someone helping with TT120.
Yeah.
But it was a role. I mean, there are lots of roles at the TMC. The TMC is smaller than some people think when it comes to actually manpower. And people have to roll their sleeves up, and you'll find Alex loading a van or unloading it at 2 in the morning.
Well, it's a lot like that with a lot of the smaller companies. I'm thinking, even at Oxford Rail, that you might think as being quite a large company. All the people, all the way up to the managing director, still roll up their sleeves and have to get stuck in with a variety of different roles.
If you get to a show on a Friday morning, you will find, Martin Weaver and Carl in that van, going to every show all over the country. This is, even Hornby isn't actually as big as people think. The brand name is huge.
Yeah.
The actual human side of it, we're all a bunch of people trying to do the best we can.
Absolutely.
We're all those kind of things. But anyway, we could go on and on and on. We
could. Look, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, this is Peachy TT120. Find his channel over on YouTube. Well, we are on YouTube. Peachy TT120. channel on YouTube, the guru of all things TT120. And over the weekend, coming at Key Model World Live, he'll be on the Hellion stand with his TT120 layout, Camelot. And this is all wrapped up with Hellion announcing that they're becoming the latest manufacturer to be into the
TT120 market.
The TT120 market. Anyway, look, thank you so much. And everybody, please do hit that like button. I haven't been reminding people, but it's been great having Peachy on, and do check out his channel.
I'm going to press the off button because he's carrying on talking.
Yeah, I would be. And a huge thank you to 3B Rail, says, evening Jenny and Zoe, for the Biscuit Fund, has donated £10 on the Super Chat. Thank you so much for your generosity. And I haven't brought it up. Thank you for the Wemyss O-Gauge wagon. I was going to open it live on air, and I don't know why I'm still wearing the headphones. But I was going to open that live on air. Thank you so much for that, for your amazing generosity. It's been quite a wild week, to be honest with you. I'm all over the place because there's so much been going on away from railway modelling and such like. But I really was blown away by your generosity sending that O-Gauge wagon. Thank you so much for that. But a degree of lateness is implied, Gandalf. Where's he gone?
I'm over here.
Oh,
The
hello,
Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. So we're at that stage of the show where I'm going to change the camera angle because we've been on that one.
No, I just did it.
Oh, I've just pressed the button to go. All right, brilliant. So we're going to get the videos on the go.
We are.
It's really weird when you wear headphones and you're interviewing somebody. It's like it makes your brain go funny, and I can't remember.
To be
what
fair,
I was
it
doing.
doesn't take much to make your brain go funny.
I think my brain was funny to start with. Because I say.
Wind up the gronk that keeps your brain going.
Gronk
it up! Gronk it up!
Gronk
it
Topsy's
up!
getting
Not a cult.
Yes, Topsy's getting a bit frisky there.
Feisty Topsy!
Yes.
Gronky gronks! Gronky gotta shunt them all!
Don't forget to hit that like button.
Well, everything's gone weird and
slow.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed the slowness. It was weird. Monday Club Meetup Saturday at Key Model World, 12:30 between stand D38 and catering for everyone that can get there. Excellent. We'll try and remember. People might have to give me a nudge, but that'll be great. Wear your Monday Club badges. Let people know.
Okay, I think this isn't going to work. We're not going to be able to do videos, are we?
Why has it gone really? I bet you it's Windows downgrading itself in the background.
It's a possibility. I mean, the computer's only been on all day.
I appear to have gone jerky.
Yeah.
Yes, Ham Shackleton says frozen now. Ham Shackleton says sound and video have lost synchro again. Really sorry about this.
Right, I'm turning the videos off. We can't do them. If it's going to be like this.
Oh yeah, that's worked now. I'm waving my hand and it stopped juddering. So it would appear that Chuggovision was caused by the mail program.
Yeah.
How strange.
And did you notice what was at the top of that?
What?
Why don't you try our new Google AI?
Oh yes, I noticed a few. There was some weird stuff was coming up earlier on. Why has Microsoft Edge reinstated itself on? Can you delete that icon? I deleted that. There's.
Well, I think we all know what's going on, don't we?
Yes, there's something. And why is Google Chrome?
I don't know.
How very strange. Yes.
I don't use Thunderbird for mail. No, I don't.
No. I must admit, I'm really peeved off with Windows. It just doesn't do what it's supposed to. Anywho, am I back normal yet? Is Toaster Topsy shunting containers? Says Richard Swiderski. No, it's there for reasons. Getting tired of this AI. Yeah, AI. Do you remember all these fads that come and go? Do you remember when was it Windows 95 became obsessed by channels and
Yes.
the early
Channels.
internet?
What the hell? The channels was just a small internet connection to a browser, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Windows 7? It's like apps. Apps became.
No, that was Windows 8.
Oh, Windows 8 became obsessed by apps. And it's like, oh, for God's sake, leave it alone. But yeah, this AI thing is getting ridiculous. Because after the use of the word intelligence implies it's actually intelligent. But if you the juddering has stopped. Whatever was going on in the browser, what was that? Your Google.
That was just my mail program. Oh, also there is a way to stop all your browsing for your searches. There's a way to stop it giving you the AI stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of whatever you're searching for, just swear. The AI can't cope with swearing; it won't respond to you.
I've noticed that your thing that begins with the letter A doesn't like it when you swear at it. It says, "I'm not going to answer that."
Yeah.
So does that mean that tech bros have programmed it to be all pious about swearing?
They are terrified of it learning how swears work and then using them.
Oh, what, you think it might be like monkey see, monkey do?
Exactly.
I know that the Apple version that begins with an S gets really quite prissy if you swear at it.
Yeah. James Pets, there's a reason I don't use DuckDuckGo. And it's that it's a stupid name. I'm sorry, guys.
The same reason she wouldn't use Ask Jeeves in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but if you put out a big tech thing, give it a proper name.
Maura King, thank you so much for coming. It's been great having your company tonight. And Richard Gruter says, just trying out my new blender, getting mixed results. You've been listening to Tony Blackburn, haven't you? James Petts says, I still have a boxed copy of Windows 98 on a shelf. And probably these days, the best thing to do with it. The trouble is, Windows 98 only really supports USB 1.1.
And not very well.
No, it'll things like mice.
Oh, it can do mice.
It was a revelation having a USB mouse on Windows 98. But it doesn't support certain critical things that really a computer needs to be able to do. So I had to upgrade from Windows 98 Second Edition to Windows XP, and then with Windows XP, it became the memory issue.
Yeah, XP was great right up until we started needing more memory.
Yeah, because
more storage.
It has a 4 gigabyte memory
because
address
it's not 64
limit.
gig. Sorry, it's not 64-bit, it's a 32-bit system.
Yeah, the 32-bit version, but the 64-bit version wasn't compatible with a lot of software.
Nope.
But the 32-bit version had 4 gig of memory addresses, but that also included things like the graphics memory.
Yeah.
So if you had a 1 gig graphics card, it meant you could only have 3 gig usable system RAM.
Yeah, it was a bit limited.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember when 128 megabytes was considered massive on a PC. You know, I remember upgrading my Amiga 500 to 1 megabyte.
Simon Trains, that's a scary point. There are AI images out there that I don't these days realise at first glance are AI. You have to properly look at them. It's got that
Yeah,
good.
they started to cross the uncanny
and
valley.
I don't like it.
Neither do I.
Let's face it. Remember that phone that had the adverts? Like, you can put yourself into group photos.
Yeah, you can give yourself an alibi.
Yeah.
And like James Petts, I know, you know, obviously in the legal profession, has this actually started to crop up
I
in
bet
the legal
if it hasn't,
world?
it will very soon. If I've got a a photo that is generated for the first time as a composite of two photos, then all of the artifacting that comes from composites won't be there because the file has only just been created.
Because what I mean is, like, from James Petz's point of view in the legal profession, has there been much discussion about things like these apps where you can insert yourself into photographs? Because essentially, a lot of this is stuff that would have been used to confirm an alibi or to confirm that somebody was at the scene of a crime, or things like that. But all of a sudden, it calls into question evidence that was otherwise considered irrefutable. This pic, so it didn't happen.
We have actually seen one interesting thing. Someone used a live stream as an alibi for getting away with murder.
And how did they do that?
He recorded the live stream.
Yes, I mean, this is the thing. I guess James Pett says, I've not seen AI fabricated evidence yet, but I mainly deal with property and commercial law. But I'm just wondering if it's something that's been discussed amongst your colleagues. Is this something that people are worried about or even thinking about? And, the problem, I guess, comes like when you say you've not seen AI-generated evidence, but will there come a point where you can't tell?
Yeah.
And would you even know you were looking at AI-generated evidence?
Yeah. James Pett says that sounds like an episode of Columbo. Doesn't it just?
Yeah.
They caught him because he turned up on CCTV at 2 points. If he had taken a different route, they would not have known that he wasn't at home live streaming.
Yes. And, it's... Yeah, Brian Perry there says, I've never believed that photos don't lie. I mean, Photoshop, photo editing is not a new thing. And certainly in 1930s Germany, they would airbrush out people from photographs.
Well, hell, it happened all the time during Stalin's reign.
Yeah.
People would just disappear from photos.
Yes. So it's not necessarily a new thing, but to be able, for anybody to just casually be able to do it.
Yeah, it's a worry.
I mean, I've seen a lot of, it's crept into the model railway world with a lot of AI-generated images of model railway stuff. And it's almost amusing that the AI generation, it can't cope with certain simple things with railways. And it gets...
I've gone back to trying with the stuff, and it has immediately started juggling with you. I'm not sure this is going to work tonight, but we'll keep trying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it can't cope with things like complicated crossings and point work.
Now.
And it ends up switching the rails from outside to inside, and it does with...
It's really not working tonight.
Really, really great. But James Pett says, where's it gone? There was an episode of Columbo where the culprit faked CCTV to give himself an alibi. I'm trying to remember which one that's. I've got the complete Columbo. It's made me want to go and see it now. I
still love the episode with the chess masters. Because that victim was a nice guy.
The chess masters?
Yeah. The chess master against the guy who technically is a chess master going for the top title.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them's deaf.
Was that a Columbo episode?
It's a Columbo episode.
I think we're going to have...
The victim is a nice guy. And it really upset me, and it stuck with me since I was a kid.
You know what? I think we're going to have to watch all the Columbo episodes back to back. And maybe that should be our evening's watchings.
Yeah.
AI ships and trains are funny to see, says Raymond. Yeah, the problem is that you look at how quickly this is developed, and it worries me where we're heading to. There's already cases where people are finding images where they've been inserted into unsavoury images. And then those images,
deepfakes.
Had been those images being spread around, and it does worry me. James Pett says, "Oh, the chess one, the victim in that episode is such a nice chat." Yes. And yes, Yaharic, I do remember the Columbo episode using a speed camera and a mask to generate an alibi. The murderer got his girlfriend to hold up a printout from a photo blown up to actual size of the guy, to then get a speeding ticket at the precise time he was committing the murder. And then when the speeding ticket came, because it was done with a forward-facing camera, and the whichever area of Los Angeles sent out the speeding tickets would send you the photograph of proof of you. So he then went, "Oh, but I got this speeding ticket," and because the photo was such like abysmal quality, it wasn't immediately apparent that it was somebody else driving his car, but holding up a mask of him.
Yes.
James Pett says Peter Falk's actual wife was an actor in that episode.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved Columbo, and of course, I think it was the very first episode of Columbo, directed by Steven Spielberg before he was famous.
That was good, yes.
As a film director. Shaky Hand Shed Model Railway says they can put me in unsavoury images. What the heck? What is this?
I'm trying to do a video to see
it's
if we can do it.
It's gone chuggy again, hasn't it?
Yeah, this
Shaky
is
Hand
terrible.
Shed Model Railways. They can put me in unsavoury images. If they get off on it, they have more problems than me.
Right, I'm going to say no to tonight. I'm sorry for.
Yeah, I think the thing that. Oh right, James Petts is correct. It's the one directed by Steven Spielberg was the third, not the first. I stand corrected. Sarah Davies says Mrs. Columbo is Kate Milk. No. They tried. Right.
Yes.
It was changed. And she became not Mrs. Columbo
very quickly
because the producers of Columbo were not happy that she was tying him, because effectively it would have made in the timeline Columbo.
She would have been underage.
It would have made Columbo a pedo, and
don't say things like that on camera.
Yeah. So it was like it didn't add up. Kate Mulgrew was far too young to be Columbo's wife, and the only thing connecting them, I believe, was the fact that Columbo's car was parked on the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the later episodes of Columbo, I believe there's something in the script that makes it impossible for the Mrs. Columbo series to be canon. They deliberately put that in.
Yes, they did.
So yeah. Wendigo Express says, "Hello Jenny, just completed my first piece of railway and model railway building lighting. Excellent work." And it is great, isn't it? When you start adding things like that really make a model railway come alive. It is great. So excellent work. Richard Gruter says, out of interest, so did the videos look real? The fake videos? The deep fake videos?
There are some that do.
Some of them are quite convincing.
And it's shocking.
Yeah, Biscuit Barrel says, the deep fake thing is a real issue in South Korea. Creepy people take 2 photos of somebody and record their voice for about 3 seconds or something, and can create a diabolical video for dirty people. Well, there was that instance with Volodymyr Zelensky, where the Russian propaganda machine made a deep fake video trying to be to make it look like he told all the Ukrainians to surrender.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And that's the kind of thing which we get worried about, and it reaches the point where you can't believe pictures and videos.
Yeah, Pixar, it didn't happen. Well, Pixar, it still didn't happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, trains.
Yes. DJ K666 says, I might make a biscuit barrel with a Gandalf in it.
Nice.
That's what
you open it up and it's like on a spring.
Zantex suggests, wonder if the issue stemmed to a full email box.
Nope. It's not that.
Oh, Ewan. Oh, I think that's somewhere. It's gone off the top. Ewan. It says, good night then, Ewan, says Leslie Gilpin Railways.
Take care. Thanks for coming along, dude.
Just trying to... What? Did something just stop over there? One of the trains is starting to misbehave.
It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
So
Oh,
look,
yes, it
take
is.
care, Ewan. Mark Wilson says, "Oh yes, the Sweeney brother." I think we've taken a turning into memory lane, and wearing our rose-tinted.
The Sweeney was damn good.
Yeah. All right, son, we're the Sweeney. We're not our lunch. That was in the very first episode.
Yeah.
Nick at Bletchley
Well, the
High
guy that
Level
was apparently
says.
19, but looked
Yeah.
about 40.
Nick at Bletchley High Level says, "Get your trousers on, you nicked." Yeah, different times. Actually, when you watch it, it's like, oh my word, was this ever acceptable?
I know. Some of the stuff they say, my goodness.
3B Rail says, "Many thanks, Jenny and Zoe. Another great stream. An early night for me. Have a great week." Thank you so much. And also, thank you again for that amazing gift that you sent. Thank you so much. Shaky Hand Shed Model Railway says, "I bought a faulty jack in the box. Why am I not surprised?" Oh my word. Krista
says,
Duke as well's heading off. Look, take care, Krista Duke. It's been great to have your company.
Durfee says, I must confess, I love N scale, but can be a bit small. Bought some 00. It's nice, but hard to do stuff in my space. The O I have is a bit here and there, more for shelves. So what did Durfee do? What did
TT120, I bet you.
I'm betting it's TT120.
Yeah. Mark Wilson, I think, was that the Professionals, Bodie and Doyle? I think
it is.
I think that might be the Professionals. DJ K666 says, "I bought a house in an earthquake zone. Nobody said it was faulty." I'm sorry, do we have an escapee from a lollipop stick factory?
I have to admit, when we moved to Manchester, it was the first time I ever experienced an earthquake.
Yes, I remember you saying. Tim Davis, the London Cheesehead, says, "Hey everyone, I am sorry I'm late."
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Melchester Model Railway says, "Did you see the episode where Columbo plays with the model railway?" I'm trying to remember. I have watched them all. I've got a box set of every single episode. But they all kind of blur into each other.
Well, they do when you watch them back to back for 6 hours a night.
Yeah, I did kind of go all in on
juice
that.
boxed
So
them.
it still took me about 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
There's a surprising number of Columbo episodes.
Yeah, he went on for like 30 years. Was it 30? He starts in the 70s, doesn't he?
No, late 60s.
Good grief.
I think it's like something like 68, 69, I think.
He was still going into the early 2000s.
I think I'm sure the final episode, is that the one with Billy Connolly as the
If it's
murderer?
not the final one, then it's one of the latest ones.
I've got 1969 was the pilot episode.
Wow.
Yeah, Zante, we're going to need a full viewer content episode.
I would have loved to have done some tonight, but it just keeps making everything jerk.
I wonder whether maybe the Cupboard Monkey would host on JK2 a live stream of all of people's video stuff. Maybe.
Why no one will watch it?
Oh, okay.
That's the problem with doing a live stream on the second channel. If you're not there, people won't watch. People aren't interested in me trying to talk about stuff. They're interested in you because you know what you're talking about.
Anyway, just letting you know that coming up on Friday, we've got the very first video in my Minith Tattoos rebuild. And this is actually quite extensive. I have I couldn't help it. I shared a couple of sneaky little short videos just to show you guys what's going on.
Gurfy didn't go for TT120. He went for G-scale.
G-scale? Oh, well, if space is an issue, then why not? 57305 Northern Princess says, "I'm currently binge watching Time Team again." Time Team's great. My sister works on Time Team to this day.
Not that she's biased.
They've done the Sutton Hoo thing, I think, is
that's their big thing. Yeah, they're
it's
doing
just
something
recently gone out, and it's their second most watched video of all time.
Because everyone loves the Sutton Hoo digs.
JD 1533 Workshop says late arrival here, but hello all from NYC. Hello to you. It's great to see you. And Gandalf.
Oh, yes, of course. A Monday clubber is never late. Oh, excuse me.
Come on, Gandalf.
I think
You'll
it
make
is a bit
everybody
late.
yawn.
But, a Monday clubber is never late to the wagons. Nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. All right. We're talking Minith Tattoos. It's quite an extensive rebuild. Now, the reason behind this was because let me change the angle of the dangle over there.
For the brew, that is true.
The reason that I've rebuilt Minith Tattoos was, whilst I was really quite pleased with it when I originally built it, that was quite a few years ago now. And one of the things which I was very much aware of was that there were things on it which I now know I can build better. And railway modelling is a lot like any other skill. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And I really wanted Minith Tattoos to reflect the journey so far in my modelling career. And I also wanted to have some extra features onto it. And I did initially offer Minith Tattoos for sale. But one of the things you find is that model railways don't tend to command a very high resale price, to the point where actually you would save more money by salvaging things like track and scenery items than what you would get from selling it as a complete layout.
Possibly because most model train enthusiasts want to build their own layout.
Yeah, I mean, I had one guy who wanted to buy it, but it was very clear to me that he seemed to want to just take it off my hands for not a lot. So I actually ended up thinking, I can rebuild. So it's quite dramatic, and you'll see that
We
in the
can
very
rebuild it. We have the technology.
yes, the £16.50 the $16.50 woman. We can rebuild cheaply off Temu. So
you come in with 17 legs, one
Yeah.
arm, and 2 noses, and you
Yeah.
look like you're AI generated.
So basically, Minith Tattoos has had a really big revamp. So some of the things that I've done is I've finally got a quarry, a proper quarry on it, and this has been cut into the hillside. We've also gone a long way towards upgrading the scenery. So there's a lot of water features gone into it to add to. I was very pleased with the river and waterfall, but I've added so much to that, and also made use of a lot of products that I've never really tried much before, and I'm really quite pleased with the results. Also, all those Primo trees. I always go on about Primo trees because they really are amazing. Plus some of the ready-made trees from Warworld Scenics. Stop it.
I'm sorry, but when you said you tried some product you'd never tried before, my brain just went like soup.
Hey! Hey,
I can't help it.
I have a bath every day.
I can't help it. It's just, that's how my brain works. It goes for insults and comedy.
But yeah, anywho, you'll see the first episode of the Minith Tattoos extensive rebuild on Sunday, and its exhibition debut is currently slated for being the Bluebell Model Railway event at the end of June. So that's one to watch, and we don't normally get that far south. So certainly south of London have taken it in its old form to Ali Pali before, but down to, I think we're at Horsted Keynes, will certainly be really, really interesting. I've never been to the Bluebell Railway before, so I'm really looking forward to it. Richard Gruter says, was the quarry very hard?
It's difficult to say whether it's hard or not because you did it in pieces, but I can imagine that at certain points you were thinking, is this going to come together or not? And you just got to trust the process, because none of it looks right until your last few finishing touches, at which point it all comes together.
Stanover Model Railway, yes, we're there for both days of the Bluebell Model Railway weekend. So it'd be great to see people down there. And yeah, Rubster's Trains and Travels. I know I'm not going to be disappointed. I've followed the Bluebell Railway quite extensively since certainly early 90s, maybe even since the late 80s. First of all in railway magazines and then with the advent of the internet. So it'll be great to finally see it. I think the first time I actually really became fully aware of a project at the Bluebell Railway was when they were actually extending to Kingscote. So that was the extension before the East Grinstead extension, but the East Grinstead extension was covered really well online on a number of different websites following the excavation of Imberhorn Tip, and I found that absolutely fascinating and so inspiring to see that railway being restored.
I can't read that, Shaky Hands. I can't.
Where are we looking? Shaky Hands Shed Model Railways. Was at the baths yesterday with my missus and kept telling her I was desperate for the toilet. She said, "For God's sake, go in the pool like everyone else." She went ballistic when I asked for paper. Max Thrust RC says, "I'm driving a Gronk on the Bluebell next week."
Gronk it up! Gronk it up! Gronk it up!
Hashtag not a cult for legal and tax purposes. And they've also, they've got a bunch of terriers and P-class as well.
At this point, I'm going to have to say we need a word from our sponsors.
Oh my word, it's 9 o'clock. God,
Yes.
that went quick.
So let's have a quick word from
So
our
we'll be
lovely
back.
sponsors at TMC.
So we're having a quick word from our sponsor and then we'll be right back after this message. The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey. So it's been great having your company tonight, and of course a big thank you to Hornby Magazine and Mike Wilde at Hornby Magazine for providing the tickets that we've given away, and congratulations to the winners of, over the last 2 weeks, we've given away 5 pairs of tickets. Looking forward to seeing some of you guys at Key Model World Live next weekend, where there's going to be a big announcement from Hellion about their first foray into TT120. You should also be able to pick up your Monday Club wagons from TMC, the Model Centre, and of course Monday Club badges will be there on the Saturday. And thank you so much, Andrew Bettis, very kindly donated £4.99 on the Super Chat. Says thanks for a good night. Oh, you're absolutely welcome, and thank you for your company. Also, don't forget your badges give you unique in-person discounts, including at TMC, Warwood Scenics, Sawyer Models, and I'm sure that there are others in the hall. I don't know if the AGR Model Railways is there, Horizon Hall Model Railways, and such like. There's a whole list on the website. Buggle Skelly as well, do support the retailers that support your hobby. On the Saturday, if you do see us, we will have a small supply of not just the current Crimson Lake badges, but we've got a very small number of green ones that we're going to be taking with us. First come, first served, no bagsies on those. They are the same price they always were. Like I said, pick up your Monday Club wagons from TMC. And they're very low stock now. I know I've been saying that for a while, but there's not a huge number left, so grab them before they're all gone. But we've also got Gamehammer Classic Gaming is on after this stream. So what are you going to be playing?
Well, it's the Total Request night, so request a game, and if I've got it, I'll play it. The only one that I've had requested is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2.
Ooh. What about Mario and Sonic at the 2012 Olympics on Wii? Look at that! Look at that
You're going to
face!
make me dig out a Wii controller.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, well, and make sure that the batteries haven't leaked all inside it. That's a good point, actually. We should probably go around and
We should probably check them, yeah.
take all the batteries out.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, that's coming up. You'll get a prompt to take you across. But from me and the Cupboard Monkey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And also a big thank you to Peachy TT120 too. So until next time, you guys take great care of yourself. Happy modelling. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
The train now departing is the 2104 service. To pack 'em on the back. Stopping at Venice Tatus Newith, Bolton Trinity Road, Grove Street Yard. That unnamed layout that Jenny said had a name, and it turned out it didn't have a name. Butts farting. Boxton on File, Boxton Junction. Hoggleton on the Hill, Eindhoven, Pittsburgh somehow. All change at 3 cocks for Lord Hereford's Knob, and then on to Packham on the Back. That's the 2104 service. To Packham on the Back.
If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was is gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Good night. I think grab a load of stuff at once, and I'll head off ski and I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, there. I can take all the empties away.
Oh, thank you. Can I?
Oh, you're welcome.
That's amazing.
Yes, yes, it is totally amazing.
Amazing. Wow.
Yes, now stop moaning and take it away.
Jenny, she loves the trains, it's true. She likes locals, whether they're green or blue. And I'll leave you with one last message from my ass.
Hey, no, you do. Ooh. Only just got rid.
Good night.
Only just got rid of the tang from a certain somebody else.
Ring, 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 banana fountain. Shall I leave you with an earworm?
No, no, stop it, no, no,
It's in your head already, isn't it?
no, it's not. La 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 la. No, 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 stop it. Look, wait, oh, for God's sake.
Good night.
Stop it. Don't forget, everybody, hit that like button if you've not already done so, and also subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already either. Why is there a pair of scissors up here, Zoe?
Oh, because I was cutting the strips for the names in the contest. Bring it down when you come down.
Yeah, okay. As I said before, don't forget that Gamehammer Classic Gaming will be firing up shortly, and you're more than welcome to port yourself across. You'll get a prompt at the end of this stream. Just click the button and you will be there. It's all request Monday. So if Zoe's got the game, she will put it on the list, and she does, believe me, have a very extensive collection of games. George says, I'm not late, am I? Sadly, you're so late, even Gandalf has gone downstairs. But it's always great to have your company. And of course, the entire stream is available on catch-up. So you'll be able to see what you've missed, all the good fun. But just remember, as a final note, the competition is closed for the ticket giveaway that we were doing. You're welcome, George. think that camera's been knocked. Let's see if we can fix it. Woo! There we go. No worries, Stevie Film. Yes, Joe Smith. Earthquake! Charlton Heston will be along to save people with a fire hose. Gosh, I haven't seen Earthquake in a long time. Right, I'm just going to put Topsy Toaster to bed. Yes, that's right, Topsy. It's been great having you on as well. And don't forget as well, hit that like button. It's a really great way to help out the channel. So, I just had word from the Cupboard Monkey that Gamehammer Classic Gaming is about to start. Sorry, Robert Cesare, it's we're just coming to the end. We're getting by. Thank you for asking, but we're just about to head on over to Gamehammer Classic Gaming. You will get a prompt. Just click the button, and your live streaming goodness will continue. But from me and all of us here at Weir Yard, you guys take great care of yourself. Happy modelling.